In this video, I want to talk about when you're dealing with a general omnipresent sense or feeling that wherever you go, people tend to not really like you. It's a painful feeling to be dealing with for sure, and if we're not able to shake it, we're going to create more of the same for ourselves, and we want to get out of that loop for both better relationships as well as a much happier life. And I was inspired to talk about this after recently meeting a friend of a friend for the first time. A girlfriend and I was meeting for a few drinks, and her other friend was also there, whom for the sake of telling the story we will name Julie. And as we're sitting there, all three of us having a few drinks, conversations were flowing and we're having a really good time, just talking about ourselves, each other, and various other topics. And I don't remember exactly what preceded to her bringing it up, but at some point Julie brought up that she struggles with this issue that none of the people she meets seem to really like her. My ears sort of perked up and I probed a bit and asked her why she thought so. She gave me a few examples and told me the feelings of her overall experiences. And because of the open tone set throughout the hangout, I decided to challenge her a bit on her argument. Because I proceeded to point out that her and I were just meeting each other for the first time right now, and that we were having a great time, and that I definitely liked her and asked her if it didn't seem so. I also pointed out that she was there with our mutual friend who obviously also likes her. I could see that she mentally chewed on my argument for a few seconds, but then offered more evidence that her hypothesis of generally not being liked was true, such as mentioning that, well, I had only just met her right now, as well as the fact that herself and our mutual friend had lost contact and had only just started hanging out again after a year. But what she conveniently left out from that story was that Julie herself had moved to the other end of the country. And that detail of the story wasn't brought up by Julie herself, that was brought up by our mutual friend. And that is the perfect illustration of the point I'm going to make, which is that most often the negative things we believe to be true about ourselves is no more true than the literal exact opposite. And that's because when we adopt a belief, the lens through which we see the world filters out anything that doesn't serve as evidence of that belief, even if the belief in question is negative and painful to us. And a good example of that is that Julie brought up that her and our friend had lost contact, but then failed to deliver the relevant and objective information that she had moved across country to live more than 4 hours away. And that's because it simply doesn't support the case that her subconscious is building and defending, which is that people doesn't like her. The beliefs that we have about ourselves, others, and the world as a whole becomes the lens through which we see the world, and the longer we have a certain belief, the more time we have to collect evidence that it is true, while simultaneously failing to commit to memory all of the times that the exact opposite was also true. And I want to make a thought experiment to illuminate this further. So let's say that there are two girls, girl A and girl B. These two girls are similar except for this one belief, because girl A holds the belief that she is a likable person. And that's because wherever she goes, she experiences that people generally seem to like her. But girl B is just like Julie in this sense. She believes that people overall doesn't really like her because she experiences just that wherever she goes. And the thing is that they are both right about themselves, because they are both subconsciously filtering their experiences to fit their adopted beliefs. Let's say that each girl has the same objective experience where they each meet 10 of the same people. And out of these 10 people, 2 people objectively truly do not like either girl A or B. Then 6 people out of these 10 doesn't hold any strong opinions against either girl, and then the last 2 of the 10 people really liked our girls A and B, which here is known through the experience of feeling like you get along with or click with someone. So our 2 girls clicked with 2 people out of the 10. And again, girl A and B had the same objective experience, but due to their opposite beliefs, they filtered this experience differently. Girl A, who believes that she is generally well liked, experiences evidence of just that when she meets 2 out of 10 people that she clicks with. Just like Girl B, she also meets 2 people who don't really like her, but as Girl A gets home, the awareness of this doesn't linger or turn into thoughts that she holds on to. And that's because she, or rather her subconscious, is focused on the evidence that supports her belief. This makes for a pretty pleasant and non-stressful subjective experience, and Girl A's subconscious files the evidence in its evidence cabinet, and Girl A moves on with her life. So on to Girl B, who has the same objective experience. She also meets 2 people she clicks with, but that objective fact is evidence which supports the opposite of Girl B's subconscious belief that no one likes her. And so because it doesn't fit her bias, it just happens to be filed by her subconscious mind as useless information. To tie this back to our real life situation with Julie, never mind the fact that she was sitting and having a blast with 2 other women. Even in that moment, Julie's mind was focused on the fact that she doesn't feel liked. And that way, a negative belief will taint even positive experiences or evidence. So in our thought experiment, when Girl B meets 2 people who truly does not like her and 6 people who seem indifferent to her, Girl B is loaded with more evidence of what she already feels she knows to be true, which is that people just don't seem to like her. And in this case, she is right. Because in this objective experience that Girl A and B is having, and their subjective interpretation of it, they are both right. Because they were both liked and disliked. In the identical experience that they had, there was evidence to fit each of their beliefs. And this type of situation will be true for every single one of us as we go about life. We are all going to be liked and disliked, but it is the belief that we hold that filters information for us and determines what we subconsciously and consciously focus on. And what we focus on grows. Our focus and attention nurtures and waters whatever it is given to, and we will experience more of that as we build on that experience due to simply spending more time with the problem just from ruminating on it. The rumination on a problem serves as just as real to your subconscious mind as the actual problem you have. Your beliefs are responsible for the feelings you experience more than any objective reality ever could, and that is why it is so important to watch the assumptions that we have about ourselves. We all see events through a veil of our subconscious beliefs, and they can either help or really hinder you. Of course, in this video, we are only talking about this one specific belief, one of feeling as if we're not really liked by other people. So if that is a belief you struggle with, try to take a moment to be truly objective and ask yourself if you have any proof at all of the opposite. And know that you can use that as a seed to better your life experience by adopting a healthier and happier belief about yourself. The old negative beliefs we have about ourselves are often programmed in us early in life. They are given to us either by others or developed from life experiences, but regardless of how you got them, it is solely your own responsibility to change them, and you are also the only one who can. But this requires a very difficult move, which is letting go of any victim mentality you are holding on to regarding the negative belief in question, even if you feel perfectly justified in having it. Because if you defend your limitation, you get to keep them. No one can talk yourself out of your negative belief but you. Another example of fighting for or defending your limitations is on the videos I made about Gia and what about her mindset that makes her attractive. I often get comments on these types of videos about how none of it matters because of how beautiful she is, or comments saying that her abundance mindset is only possible because she is rich. These are comments from people fighting for and defending their limitations, and if they can get outside validation of it, they feel relieved. Hence the comment. And the point is not that they are wrong and that Gia isn't beautiful. The point is that they will focus on what isn't within their control instead of what is. It is again a filtering of evidence. In this case, that being attractive is not within your own control. But anyway, if you feel like people don't like you, it may be time to question that belief. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel for more.